bit. We're already in the section now. It's going to be Marcel Smithers. 8.7 watts per kilogram. Marcel Smithers. It's going to be Kuth Burton. Gino's there as well. Now we see the arrow sacks going and the lights are kicking. Is it going to be Gino? Is it going to be Gino? Elise Gallegos. Penner to the line. Gallegos, 13 watts per kilogram. Elise Gallegos looking to take this down. Will Penner get her at the line? No, it's Gallegos.
Oh, my.
What a move from Gallegos.
Barnes and Pavel Sierski wants to be the first one back in the hay, but no, Pedersen now making his move. And look at this. The Norwegian is going to go massive, Nathan. Bring him home. It's history being made today.
Nijal, I don't know if Sierski timed that correctly. He backed off. He should have kept on going, but did Dom time it? Dom might have got it around the line. I think Dom might have just barely nipped that. It's going to be so close. Oh, my goodness. Well, welcome everyone to Race 2 of Prestige Season 1. I'm Nathan Gary, your host, and we're back for another week of verified high-level racing as Prestige continues to take shape right here in front of us. Last week set the tone: fast, tactical, community-powered, and Race 2 is where we start to see this series really come alive. Now, just a reminder, everybody, Prestige isn't just another set of races in the virtual cycling world. It's the next step forward in cycling esports. Sustainable growth, real prizes fueled directly by the community, and a premium tier of competition built around performance verification and accountability. With our partners at Restart, presented by Alex Co., Prestige delivers that single-day classics feel, where squads and individuals line up shoulder to shoulder, chasing preems, podiums, and bragging rights in the same arena. And all of it runs on the Lead Out Esports platform. Now, this is the first time a full series has ever been hosted as an end-to-end inside system designed specifically for this community. Organizers get the tools they've been waiting for, teams get visibility, athletes get a home built for verified high-level competition. This is the ecosystem we've been talking about for years, and now it's real. So tonight, expect more preems, expect deeper tactics, expect the squads to really start showing their hands as the series storylines take shape. Now, Prestige is built to grow the sport from the ground up, and Race 2 is a big step in that journey. Now, before we jump in, I do want to give a big thank you to the partners who make this possible. Verge Sport for their clothing support, Precision Fuel and Hydration for their support for our preems, Alex coaching and with his support in the background, helping out with Restart. The broadcast team at ZMS Esports Studio making everything look awesome. Welcome to Prestige Season 1, Race Number 2. Now, before we hit the throttle for Race 2, I want to bring in the man calling the shots next to me in shotgun, just like in Race Number 1, my co-pilot for Prestige Season 1, Mr. Dave Toll. Dave, great to have you alongside of me again for this racing, top tier racing, proper production, verified, just like last week.
It's exciting to be involved, Nathan. You can really full new energy. The riders are really committed to this. It's what we were looking for, to be honest. So great job by everybody a couple of weeks ago. Both finishes were fantastic. And I'm actually watching that, Nathan. I'm thinking, should I have put Tiffany Penner in for my picks? Because she's been coming good. And that's what we're looking for, is excitement around the racing. There's so many really cool individuals globally who make this sport special. And you're going to see some of them out there really on a fantastic course to show your wares. That's for sure. So we got a lot to look forward to today.
All right, well, let's get right into the structure of Prestige this Season 1 and the races, how it all works. If you head on over to leadoutesports.com, you can see that there is an entry fee to jump in and get involved, and each single day race counts on its own for individuals. But then there's also a squads competition that is the only competition that goes across as a series of races that the squads are competing for. It is community-fueled prizes, so the more people that show up, the more the prize goes deeper, as well as it pays out more to the top tier. As you can see, we are currently at the Minimo 150, 90, and 62, the winners of the race podium. And then there are gift cards from Precision Fuel and Hydration across age groups. So even those who are not in the top spots or get the preems do have something to fight for still with the gift cards and product provided by Precision. Big thank you to them again. This is the squad prizes. So right now we are at the Kermesse, so they are going to be fighting it out for 160 and 40 across them as well. And the first squad gets a custom pain cave kit for all 4 squad members, jersey, bibs, headband, and towels for winning the overall. You can see there are some discounts as well provided by Verge Sport across the squad prizes. So a big thank you to Verge for that as well. Dave, we got some squad standings.
Yeah, let's start with the women. Wahoo put on quite a performance a couple of weeks ago. 85 points they took home. Team SZ, who are really in the mix, ended up tied with Rose Beast Mode at 72, and showing you just how competitive our first ever prestige race was. Restart in at 63 for 4th. And then amongst our squads, I have a feeling you're going to hear more from Electric Spirit Company. They're sitting there at 53 points after the first race. Men coming up next here, Nathan.
Yeah, the men's squad standings, we do have the Speed Potatoes, not to be confused with the Sweet Potatoes, sitting at the top there. And they were off the front in race number 1. Maybe be on the watch out for some more attacks like that. Team SC in second. Second's going to be Restart Esports Men 1 in third. Rhodes Beast Mode Men in 4th right now at 48 points, hunting them down for that podium, right? It looks like Cyclomaniacs in 5th, followed up by HTD, WD in 6th. Spin Doctors, RWB Elite. Watch out for RWB Elite. They've got some hitters showing up in race number 2. I'm excited about that. We'll talk more about it as we get into the racing for the men. And Restart Esports M2 sitting with 3 points. Going to be looking for some more points out there today, aren't they, Dave?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and there's some, you said it, Nathan, some big names are joining us this week. And I wanted to go back here, moving up from Minimo into the next tier. That's a great sign for prestige. So thanks to everybody who's inscripted for the racing out here. It's going to be an absolute Donnybrook in the Innsbruckring today, no doubt about it. And I love the fact that we have these preems to add in as well. That's going to spice things up quite a bit, Nathan.
It is. Well, now let's go ahead and jump in with our in-house analyst for the course, Becca Neeson. Great to have her with us. Becca, what's the course looking like today?
Hi, Nathan. Thanks for having me. We are doing 4 laps of Innsbruckring today. This is a total of 35.3 kilometers with 308 meters of climbing. And it is really all about the leg snapper, and everyone is going to treat it as such. But I do think that there's other places on the course to talk about. So right out of the gate, you have at 2.3 kilometers, you have a gentle climb over a bridge and then a downhill. And anytime you have an uphill followed by a downhill, I think it's a good spot to watch because it cuts the speed of the pack. And anytime the pack speed slows down, you want to watch for anybody taking advantage of that. In addition, after the leg snapper, there are a couple of things to talk about. In the leg snapper itself, we both have the preem on lap 2, which is obviously going to be a big spot to talk about. But on lap 1 and lap 3 and lap 4, they still have to get through it. The middle third of this KOM is quite steep, and the front third and the back third are a little less steep. It's 430 meters long with an average grade of 6.9%. And the pack is obviously going to hit the beginning and then slow down through the middle third. And that's where I want to see an attack, especially because right after the top at 5.4 kilometers, the pitch goes super negative. So I want to watch for people doing moves over the top of that. For the men, it's probably going to be low 40 seconds. For the women, probably mid 40 seconds through the leg snapper. And then they have to continue pushing down. There's a momentum killer at 5.9 kilometers as well, where after the hill starts going down, there's a slight pitch up, and I'm excited to see what happens there. And then they're going to head towards a sprint right around 7.3 kilometers. There's a slight downhill, which I think is a place where teams can work together and push through before they hit the lap banner at 9 kilometers and start it all over. So back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Becca. I'm super excited about that. Let's jump right down into the rider picks that we have for today. You know, I might be in a little bit of trouble if I go past my wife sleeping on the, I don't know, she'd never make me sleep on the couch for that. But the reality is Gabby Gare's not one to go past, I don't think. So got to put the, she's actually racing for Rose Beast Mode, which is kind of cool to see. It's been a little while since she's been in with Rose Beast Mode. So back in with the German squad. Liz Van Houweling, though, I think she wants a win. It's been so close for her over and over again. Always can't go past her in a sprint if she can time things well. If Holden Camus on the men's side of things can hold on That's going to be the big question because, and if they don't make it like too much of a ramp up into the finish and they kind of, if there's a looking at each other situation, watch out for Holden. We haven't seen him have a big win in a really long time. Is this the comeback for the former national champion of the USA? We'll see. Paul Sersky kicking himself after last week with that early jump, I think. He's going to try and make the racing as hard as he possibly can, though, because I'm not sure he can win a sprint against some of these hitters on a course like this. Dave, what are you thinking?
Racecraft is going to be huge today, Nathan, and I couldn't look past Mika Soderstrom. I'll admit I have a world championship bias, to tell you the truth. It gives you a great indicator, a good data point of form, recent great form from both of these two. As Gabby Guerra, for me, I have a tremendous amount of respect for the Brazilian champion. We've known about Gabby's build for a long time, and now that she's become one of the preeminent talents in I just couldn't diss her and not choose her here. I probably should have chosen one of the other really talented women that we have, but I have a lot of respect for Gabby and what she's done, and I feel like she's really helped grow esports a lot. So it's a pick that was easy for me to make at the end of the day. On the men's side of things, again, esports specialists stand out to me, especially on a course like we have at Innsbruckring. Watch what Njal Pedersen does on the leg snapper. He's going to destroy it today, is my opinion. And I think that Thomas Nielsen is maybe a bit of a sleeper pick, Nathan, but those are my choices. But I'm always curious what Becca thinks. Becca, who are your choices today?
So I think the obvious choice is Gabby, and she has impressive numbers across the board, and I think she's going to do great. But I wanted to kind of delve into the numbers of the rest of the pack, and I was really impressed last week with Elise Gallegos. I think she had the ability to go for the sprint, recover, go for the climb, recover, and still have it in her to sprint at the end of 40 kilometers. So I think she's a great choice. I also think Randy Gino has some amazing 1 minute power. She's a former track rider inside. I guess it's inside, but in real life. And I think she has the ability to dig deep when she's fresh. So I'm hoping she is today. On the men's side, I have two riders that are not part of a team. And I think that's going to help them kind of sit in the pack, follow wheels, and then break it out at the end. They're both 1 minute power specialists, I'd say. So I went with Iker Morel and James Barn, neither of whom raced last week. So they're a little bit fresh to the scene, and I think they can do a lot of damage. So
absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for the picks, everybody. Now we got 1 minute to go. I want to give a big shout out to the Spincast. If you haven't checked them out as a podcast, they're awesome podcast about all things virtual cycling and cycling esports. They threw down $50 for a preem that we're going to call out during the races, actually, both for the men and the women. Lead Out went ahead and matched that, so we have $50 across both of the races for a preem that is called During the Race. I'll be typing it actually in chat here for the ladies right now. We'll call the men's during the men's race as well. It's 20 seconds to start, though, so let's get right down into the pens as we are going to see the kickoff for the ladies' races as this is going to be at Innsbruckring. Go time.
That is a lot of talent sitting there on the start line as we get ready to hit out. Nathan, it's going to be with authority. So many unique things about racing here today, and we are off as Innsbruckring. Here we go. 4 laps today, and it's going to be spicy, Nathan. I can't wait to see who launches the first attack. I did want to mention, I see the Canadian champion's jersey up there. There's some riders here, as we were just talking about. There's the squad element, and that's about half of the riders in our field. And then the independent contractors, I guess is a good way to put it. Riders that are out here just racing for themselves. Now, it creates a great dynamic. This has been really well thought through. For the squad racing, there are 4 riders on the team. 3 of them will score points for you in each one of our prestige broadcasts. A little bit chill right now, Nathan, as it's Cuthbertson, the Scot, up on the front here. Liz Van Houweling's a great choice. I also really have to give credit to Elise Gallegos, Nathan. You know, all the things that I was saying about Gabby apply to Elise as well. She has really put the work in over the last couple of years. All of these riders have had to persevere through some disappointing moments in their careers to really shine. And I think that Elise Gallegos is starting to have her moment that she's worked so hard for. I definitely be keeping my eye on her today.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I'm going to call it now. We are going to be having on first lap for this ladies. For the ladies. It's only for the ladies one. First lap. We're going to be having that preem at the Innsbruckring Sprint. Not over the top of the leg snapper, just so everybody knows. Okay. It is at the Innsbruck Sprint. $50 preem. If anybody wants to go ahead and take a risk. It's going to make things a little more interesting here. Will somebody make some early moves? And if people think, hey, they're going to just let that go, perhaps? We see Kuthbretson already making some moves at the front now.
These are dynamics that we're looking for. So correct me if I'm wrong, Nathan. We've got a preem sprint coming up in around, let's call it a little over 5K. Now, it's happening immediately here for these women. This is incredible. I was not anticipating that. So you definitely got the jump on the surprise element here. Now, we do have that leg snapper preem coming up later in the race. So there's just so much going on out here right now. But out on lap 1. So this is really going to force the riders to watch the broadcast, isn't it, Nathan? Or have someone watching and telling them.
Yeah, and as you can see, Leah here being let go. Maybe the riders are just thinking, not as interested in the $50, or think that she's just going to be coming right back into the fold, up and over the top of the leg snapper. That is something I would kind of be thinking about, here, as there's a steady little climb over the bridge, as well as you head on over toward that leg snapper. So interesting here that they're just letting her get so much time. 8 seconds already, almost out of sight, actually, Dave.
Well, I mean, this is obviously going to be a problem if you're looking to be conservative right now and be contesting for the $50 preem. That ship sailed. You're either going to need to start pitching in, or Leah's going to take an opportunist moment here. And I mean, right now, she's got a ways to go here, but the gap is opening up. It's gone over 12 seconds at this point. So Cuthbertson making a good play here.
Yeah, it is a good play. I wanted to bring in Becca here real quickly. And Becca, do you think that this is going to get chased back? Or are they just saying, look, it's too early to burn any matches? What are they trusting here with Leah off the front by 16 seconds?
I think that point at 2.3 kilometers to 3.1 kilometers, where there's a draggy climb followed by a descent, I think the pack is thinking that descent is going to speed us up a lot, and we're going to come into the back of Leah right before the leg snapper starts. So I think that they are relying maybe a little bit too much on that. Leah did do this in the desert last week as well. She kind of tugged the line, and I do think it's a team tactic to try to get everyone to react to her move to support the rest of her team. So I'm not sure if she's going to be able to maintain it, because the preem, again, is lap 2. So maybe people just don't care, and they figure they're going to catch her on the leg snapper. They're going to catch her on this little descent at 3.1. I think they're just relying a little bit too much on the pack being able to roll over her.
Nathan,
yeah, it's a great call there, Dave.
Randy Gino is going to be liking this, right? She's in a no-lose situation here with Leah, her teammate, on restart up the road. Gino now can sit in. If the other riders don't want to chase Leah back, then so be it. But if they do, she should be on that magic carpet ride, I would think, to have she's got a good finish. So not bad for restart at all right now.
Yeah, I think Restart have a really solid tactic actually here. I mean, they've got some really strong ladies in the field. They can just sit back, watch what's happening up the road here at this point. They don't have to worry about anything when it comes to doing any work whatsoever. This is on everybody else. And the race is just 35 seconds, Dave. That is a lot of time. This is getting dangerous.
Become worse. Right. All of a sudden now, I don't think we're talking about the first preem or even the second preem. She could be riding away with this race if they don't start taking some action back here. Nobody is taking the bait. This is a passive-aggressive standoff right now back in the peloton. I get it. Nobody wants to start working into their fuel supply unless other riders do. And, yeah, this is really a classic esport racing moment. It's gone out to 41 seconds at this point for Leah here. So I guess, Nathan,
now the alarm bells, Dave, I think the alarm bells, Dave, here, I think, is really going to be whether or not anything happens on this leg snapper, right? There's going to be everything's going to change at that point, and then you're going to see whether or not people start throwing matches down to bring something back. I think they're really waiting to see what this first leg snapper does.
Okay, I completely agree, Nathan. And I'm going to think that if they don't bring back 10-ish seconds at that point, they're going to realize that they made a big mistake. We got a long way to go.
Has Leah gotten $50 in her pocket here? I mean, that may be just, it's so great. I mean, I'd be pretty happy at this point if I were Leah. Like, she just rode off the front at the beginning of the race. Like, oh, they said a preem? Sounds good. Let's go get it. And nobody responded.
And she has settled into a steady state effort at a high level here. This is a human wattage cottage that we've got. Looking at Cuthbertson sitting in the mid-4s watts per kilo here. If you look back, they haven't gone above 4 watts per kilo with any rider back in the peloton for a while here. It's going to go over a minute at this point. This is really an interesting moment in esports history here. We've never seen anything like this, Nathan, to tell you the truth. This preem dynamic is cool. Big thank you to Precision as well. I love the fact that they're involved. And this peloton is going to play the game today. Love it.
And just as a heads up, everybody, no preem on this leg snapper. That's just saying that the leg snapper is coming there. So there's no preem on this leg snapper. The preem is at the Innsbruck sprint, just as a heads up to everybody. As Cuthbertson now already throwing down 6 watts per kilogram. You can see at the front here, she's going to easily make it over the top. They're not bringing back a minute before the preem. This is over. They've got. She's not over as far as the race goes, but she's pocketing $50
time to stop for a scone and
this
coffee.
This is awesome.
I mean, yeah,
she can spend her $50 on a scone and coffee at this point.
Absolutely, Nathan. I mean, what's going to happen here? Does she take this out to 90 seconds? I mean, it's continuing to grow. So that is not. Now that will be a preem sprint. That arch that you just saw in another lap, but not now.
No, it's not. Now we're going to really start having some questions, answers. We already have Maria Marbjorn starting to ramp things up toward the front. Here comes Schrader, 11 watts per kilogram. With how chill they have been here, Dave, this leg snapper is going to be absolutely insane all the way over the top.
Yeah. Right on cue. There's Gabby Guerra going to the front for the Beast Mode team. And that was the high water mark at 109 for Leah Cuthbertson, because it's going to start coming down rapidly as the heavy hitters have moved to the front. Here's Liz Van Houweling. She's going to jump up over the top, or at least start working with Gabby Guerra here. So look at these names. Gallegos is coming. That's a big one. Heber Smith is up there now. Lucy Harris, Mika Soderstrom, Randy Gino, Tiffany Penner. These are your danger women. They're in full chase mode. This race has activated.
Acceleration up and over the top. It looks like 8.5 watts per kilogram coming from Guerra. She kicks, and it's going to be Cuthbertson, though still 3.6 watts per kilogram. She's got a solid 49 seconds. They brought back 20 seconds. Van Houweling and Guerra behind have a little bit of a gap. It looks like about 2 seconds to Mika Soderstrom. Gallegos on the chase, it looks like, behind. But here we go. We're going to focus in on Cuthbertson because she is going to score this preem. It's only, I think, another 300 meters or so to grab it. So nice one by Leah and the Restart team to take down that spin cast preem. Big thank you to them for throwing that down for this field.
And remembering that the same thing for the men, there will be a preem. They don't know when it's going to be in the race. Nathan announced right as the riders left the line that this preem would be on lap 1. So that was a very unique moment for us here, but there you have it. Innsbruck sprint preem going to Leah Cuthbertson. But Nathan, they have hit the gas back behind her now, gap down to 43 seconds. So that's no longer the story. For me, Nathan, what's going on in the peloton, because I think they're going to split this group. That trip up and over the leg snapper, there were riders actually that did not benefit at all from the way that they rode those first 5K. By it going so easy and so slow, when they hit it so hard that there's going to be riders left, right, and center all over this course as Gabby Guerra continues to push on. So here you go. One of the best in the sports history. He's got Liz Van Houweling up on our wheel. Gallegos, Penner, Soderstrom, Gino, and Larson. These are the riders that you would expect to see up near the front, but Gabby Guerra is pushing so hard. She's got to be blowing riders' engines up behind her.
Yeah, Gara here does not want this coming back together. Van Houweling being really smart about how she's playing this out here. She jumped immediately
Not
onto
overcooking
Gara's
it.
wheel, onto the downhill, and now Soderstrom looking to come across here or just dragging this pack back into the fold. Soderstrom has a little bit of a gap, it looks like, there over the rest of the field. Will anybody jump on that? I think they are going to cover and kill, but Gara, she's just not stopping. She says she's got 5 seconds. She's going to continue on with this and chase down Cuthbertson. And this might be a situation where we have a 2-up restart in a 3-person breakaway.
This is going to be interesting. It really is. Now, Gabby Gara with the beast mode team, she's got Van Houweling coming up to her. So Van Houweling is not chasing back her teammate per se. That's Cuthbertson up the road, just sitting on Gabby Gara's supreme effort being made right now. There's so much talent back in this peloton. I would not be that worried, to tell you the truth, if I'm a Lisa Hermansen or Anna Svartstrom or Marlene Bjotheid. I think these riders realize that the strength of the peloton right now, even though this is Gabby Gara and Liz Van Houweling, I think they're okay with that small gap. And actually, it's not such a bad thing right now what the race scenario looks like.
Yeah, it's interesting here the way that this is playing out as Gara just continues to press and just does not care. The pack behind is trying to pull things. Now, I want to bring in Becca here as to what is the situation out on course? Like, what are these riders thinking at this point, and what is the game that's being played by Gara?
Honestly, I don't know if Gabby is playing any games. I think she just knows that she's able to power away from everyone. I think she can rely on her numbers a lot more than anyone else. Just because she's got that repeatability, she's got the high wattage, she's got the high watts per kilo. She's a total package, so she doesn't have to be a sprinter and be safe. She knows that she beats most of these riders on 15-second push, 30-second push, 1-minute push, 5-minute push, and I think she doesn't want to let Cuthbertson go.
Yeah, 100%. It looks like Cuthbertson is going to be getting caught now at this point, as it's only 4 seconds. And Gallegos now catching Van Houweling with the main pack bringing Van Houweling back in. Interesting, Dave. I thought that Liz would hang on, but maybe Liz thought that this was game over because it was very, very close, the pack at one point. But now, are they going to just start looking at each other? Will this group actually work together? Leah here, is she even going to jump on the wheel, or is she just going to watch? Okay, up ahead, I think. I'm not sure what's going on here. Is everyone just saying that this is a Gabby Gara is going to walk away situation?
Oh, boy. I mean, I can't imagine so, to tell you the truth. I just think Gabby is really so strong here that they're just having to rally the troops and kind of organize a chase at this point. They can't just let her ride away. Or maybe they do. I mean, someone like Lucy Harris has got to be loving this situation. Rose Beast Mode in the driver's seat right now. Leah Cuthbertson did everything she could, Nathan, to impact the first part of this bike race. And I was actually surprised at how patient Gabby Gara was, but she's an absolute monster. And I'm feeling that she can kind of Godzilla her way around Innsbruckring right now.
This effort is insane that we're seeing here. And Gallegos says, enough is enough. Time to get moving here. Punch. But there's a little frustration. I can feel the frustration from the riders who have it to go and be a part of this race with Gara here at this point. But, like, you know, there's... Because you don't want to drag everybody with you, but at the same time you want somebody to kind of work. It's like when everyone's just kind of sitting around, it's this in-between situation. Now Harris is just going to sit in. Look, Harris covers, kills it, and Harris is one of the favorites, right? She took second last week or 2 weeks ago to Gallegos. She's just going to kill every single move, and Gallegos has to be going, come on now.
It's even worse, right? Because now Gabby Gara is riding up the road, and she's got a wicked teammate behind her, Lucy Harris, who I mean, it really, really impacts your ability to chase or your desire to make a big effort when you've got Lucy Harris sitting on your wheel and knowing that you'll be counterattacked. And then it just gets worse as Beast Mode, Nathan, correct me if I'm wrong, they came in tied for second. As 2 weeks ago, it was absolutely a really great performance from their team, but they didn't have Gabby Guerra with them. Adding Gabby Guerra in now means that this should be their day, in my mind. They have to be
Yeah, they were
thinking that
tied
way.
for second actually with Team SZ. So tied for second with Team SZ. So it's a good
with
call
no
there,
Guerra,
Dave. And
right? And
yeah,
that's
exactly.
So Lucy Harris has got to love when the reinforcements arrive, the war changes. And that's what happened for Beast Mode here. Now, they're one of our squads. There's other riders out here that aren't impacted by that, but they are impacted by the strength of Gabby Guerra. And Elise Gallegos is one of the riders who's going to rise up to this challenge, it looks like. The Wahoo rider here, moving off the front. That's the team that's leading. And they had a nice little advantage after the first Prestige race. But things are going to be changing out here today. No doubt about it. Lucy Harris is on point. There's Mika Soderstrom moving up. Hermansen, another big part of that Wahoo team, teammate for Gallegos.
Yeah, we have Mika Soderstrom, Lisa Hermansen, and Elise Gallegos all riding for that Wahoo Esports team, and they are the ones who are putting little efforts on the front. Do you notice how the roll through comes from Mika at 4.5, 5 watts per kilogram, then Gallegos comes through. What's interesting is Hermansen is sitting in a lot. Now Hermansen goes to the front. So all three of them, they're defending their position against Rose Beast Mode. This is a great situation, actually. This is absolutely awesome to see.
This is really
the way that Wahoo is
racing.
Defending against Beast Mode. 100%, Dave.
I feel like we're looking at the Tour de France right now, Nathan, because you can see that Beast Mode has sent Gabby up the road. Wahoo has organized their team, and they're leading the chase. That Swedish jersey is also Wahoo. So that's Gallegos now who's going off on her own. So that's interesting, and we'll talk about that. But then the Beast Mode team was assembled right behind Wahoo Lecole with everybody except Gabby waiting there. So they're in incredibly good position right now. They definitely have Wahoo Lecole behind the 8-ball here, Nathan.
Well, we've got $50 at the top of the leg snapper coming up here, lap number 2. And now we've got a little bit of chase, only 22 seconds. Very different situation that we saw with Cuthbertson, though. Leah, with a full minute, got 20 seconds brought back. Will we see Gabby have 20 seconds brought back? There's a lot of energy being drained from the tank from the Beast Mode rider right now with only 22 seconds. So it'll be really interesting to see what she can hang on to out here today.
Gabby, well known as a precision hydration lover. So she wouldn't even mind getting, well, actually she would, because she could buy $50 worth of precision hydration with first place. So she's not going to go for second in that precision hydration back there. But she is one of the athletes that's been an original supporter of that brand. And I know Gabby loves her some precision hydration, that's for sure. $15 probably fuels her for a day at this point, with the amount that she consumes. You're a witness to that.
Look where it's just steady. It's every single day. It's like I think she goes through about 120 an hour, when it comes to the grams of per hour. So now looking at this gap here, I want to talk to Becca a little bit about, she's about to go into this leg snapper. Most likely will be taking down the first place for the Preem, but the pack dynamics have changed a little bit recently. Is that impacting how much of a gap she can get here, Becca?
Yeah, I think when we saw Cuthbertson go off the front, I think everyone knew she's not going to be able to maintain it for the entire race, and probably not through the second leg snapper, which is the Preem. I think everyone knew she was going for that Preem, and so they kind of let her go, and they said, we'll walk it back. With Gabby, it's a totally different situation. So Cuthbertson, you saw her heart rate was almost 20 beats per minute higher. Gabby looks like she's in threshold or not even. She's comfortable, and she can maintain this gap as long as she wants, really. So everyone else working their way back, as you saw Wahoo pulling that line, pulling that pack speed, trying to speed up the pack. I think they're doing what they can without overly sacrificing their position in the pack to walk it back. But I think Gabby's just, you can see her right now. She's in the 9s. That's not something most of these riders can counter, if any of them. So I think everyone's going to try to work as much as they can together, other than Beast Mode. And the Beast Mode riders are going to have a huge advantage going into the finish if everyone else is trying to work harder to try to eat into that gap with Gabby.
I completely agree.
Well, the big
Becca,
story now, Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Nathan, what Becca is saying is absolutely right. Here's my advice then to the Wahoo Lacole ladies based on that is let her go at this point. Start racing as if she's not even in the race anymore. Uh, because you can still have the best team performance today and hold on to your lead. But if you race just against Gabby, the rest of their team is going to just overrun you in the finale. So I would be, honestly, it's fish or cut bait.
Big attack over the top here from Gallegos and Penner trying to make things happen. Penner playing such a smart race. I absolutely love what I'm seeing from Tiffany Penner right now in that national champion kit for Canada. Really cool to see as she jumps right on the wheel. Gallegos, she needs to close this down right now if she wants to stay involved. But Gallegos and Penner, they go second and third for the Preem up over the top and grab a little bit of precision hydration Preem fuel as Penner being brought back into the fold, it looks like, by Hermansen, as they're not going to chase down Gallegos, though, I would think, as Gallegos continues on at 4.1 watts per kilogram. We could turn it into a situation here if the pack just looks at her, but I have a feeling the roll-through speed is going to be a lot. This is interesting here. Look at how Penner goes straight through to the back, actually, of the pack, and that roll-through speed, it's snowballing almost completely out of control.
Yeah, Penner riding for the Cryo RDT team, so not a part of this squad battle. So it does give her some independence out here, Nathan. But that's sub-ideal.
Well, now 2 seconds off the back, actually, for Penner that I just saw here.
Yeah,
a little bit of roll through here
I
from
guess
Eleanor Wiseman.
That's one of the things about preems. You can get sucked into going too deep, going for it, and pay a price. And unfortunately, it looks like that might be happening to Tiffany Penner. She's such a fighter, though. I'm going to be cheering for her to rejoin this group.
Well, they are slowing down a little bit. It's gone out to now 3 seconds, so I am starting to see a little bit of a push on the front. I think Wahoo see the danger that's off the front still, and they're rolling through with the speed, keeping it up in the 41 kilometers per hour here at this point as Hermansen, and it's going to be Van Houweling covering, but I have a feeling that now they can see that Gabby's only got 38 seconds. They've kept her at that 38-second mark. It didn't go much over that, but they're going to have to start working together if they do want to bring her back, as Gabby continues on and can see that the riders behind are not necessarily keeping their speed high enough.
Yeah, I mean, at this point now, Gabby's got some wiggle room here. She can get into a steady state effort. She knows her body, and she knows what she can do as well as any athlete in the sport. The Soderstroms and, I mean, the ethos of a racer is alive and well with this Wahoo Lacole team. They can't help themselves but to chase here. I actually, in a weird way, Nathan, feel like it's working against them right now a little bit here. No other team is participating in the pacemaking back in the peloton for the last 10K, more or less.
Yeah, it's an interesting point here, Dave. Like, we've got some hitters sitting in, right? Like Lucy Harris can just sit in and get some revenge, right? Later on in this. Is Gino still involved here? Randy Gino, if she's still made this, Liz Van Houweling. I mean, they're literally all just sitting going, yeah, okay, Wahoo, it's on you. But is it on them? Like, where is this mentality coming from that it's all on Wahoo? Is it just the squad defense at this point?
Yeah, and it teams like, how about Roberto Bessone of Electric Spirit Company? She's got to love this race situation. You know, there's accepting responsibility for the scenario that's developed, and Wahoo Lacole is clearly doing that. And I have a ton of respect for racers who ride this way, Nathan, but sometimes being honorable doesn't pay off in the end, right? A little skullduggery, or whatever that word is, little trickery can go a long way in this sport. And at this point now, Wahoo Lacole is the only team really chasing at this point Gabby Garrett. The gap is solidified at 38 seconds. It's not going up or down. Gabby doesn't need it to go up at this point. She's halfway through this effort, and I would think that she's got to be feeling pretty comfortable about her situation and the fact that she's setting the table for Rose Beast Mode now.
Yeah, I mean, there's some pretty serious hitters still that we haven't talked about. I mean, Sophie Giovanni here, she's the French champion, also sitting in amongst this pack. She's got a good threshold on her. She's a rider that could put some work in, but decidedly saying, no, it's not time for that. We're just going to take it easy here. So Giovanni, 15-second, 366. I don't know that that actually represents her. I have a feeling she's got more than that. I think it's been a little while maybe since we've actually seen a good kick from her out on Zwift. I'm seeing all the way back on October 29th really is her last ride really. So watch out for Giovanni actually. I have a feeling that she may have something to work with here, and watch out for her later in this race to maybe start making some moves to try and break the tired out Wahoo Esports. Maybe everyone's looking at that going, Gabby's up the road. Maybe we'll chase her down later and let Wahoo burn their matches.
Maybe, but I think at this point that I don't know that there's any rider in the peloton that thinks they're going to see Gabby Guerra before the finish, honestly, at this point, Nathan. You can see that Wahoo Lacole's decidedly changed their mindset over the last 3K. They've completely moved off of the front now, and nobody else, it's not like Restart says, oh, okay, we'll take over. It becomes a bit of a standoff at that point where everyone looking at each other, and that gap from Guerra is going to go up over a minute pretty quickly if they don't decide. Gabby won't be able to help herself, Nathan, as far as she has a certain level that she won't ride below, I would think. I would say the start of this race was the longest and easiest I've seen Gabby ride in competition in the entire time that we've known her. Actually, that's probably the longest that she's ever been able to lay off taking the bait before she attacked and just does what Gabby thinks. And yeah, what is the gap now up to Gabby? I'm going to guess, I haven't seen it for a couple minutes here, and I'm going to say it's probably gone to 50 seconds. It's at a minute.
Yeah, it's up to a minute now at this point.
I think she's backing
I
up
think
what
it
I'm
may be
saying.
game over. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I think also there was a little bit of a mistake made by Van Houweling. I think Van Houweling may have been thinking a little bit of SRC, maybe thinking a little bit of whoosh tact. They race each other a lot on whoosh every weekend, right? And I think there are some tactics that get stuck in your head about how things are going to play out. And when we saw that 3 to 5 seconds earlier on lap 1, with the pack coming back so quickly, I think there was a lot of trust that Gabby was going to be brought back in alongside of Cuthbertson as well as Van Houweling, and I have a feeling that maybe they're kicking themselves a little bit with letting that go. And I do think they let it go. I think it was in their wheelhouse to hold that wheel at that point, and then everyone kind of just looked at each other and was like, "Who's going to do it at this point?" And I think that's really what let things go.
Nathan, the one rider, I agree with you for the most part. Outside, I felt like Gallegos wanted to go with her. You know, she was the one that was trying to bridge across a couple of times when it was still somewhat possible. But you're right. I mean, Gabby is just such an exceptional rider that, it's interesting to hear you talk about Sunday Race Club versus the other formats of racing out there. Sunday Race Club is really unique in many, many ways.
Yeah, 100%. So maybe there was something there. I do think Gallegos did want to go. We are going to be getting the men starting here in about 15 seconds or so. As the ladies are all watching each other for the second half of their race. We'll be covering across both of the races now as the men are hitting out 5 and 4 and the 3 and the 2 and a 1. And here we go with the men out on course for the start of their Innsbruckring 4 laps in Prestige race number 2. We'll jump back in with the ladies in just a minute here as we get out on course here with these men. 51 starters have taken to the race, it looks like, as we jump right in with Van Ster from Team SZ. It is going to be the current leaders will be those speed potatoes. Be on the watch out for them out here today. But I have a feeling some big hitters like your man James Barnes has jumped in with the race out here today. It's great to see him back in and racing.
Yeah, it really is one of the all-time stars of the sport from South Africa, living in New Zealand. We've gotten to know James really well over the last 5 years. Tepalorio in the field, representing Wahoo Lacole. Some big names in our men's group. I did want to note, Nathan, that everything that you heard about with the women's race, the distance, obviously the number of laps and the preems apply, but we did not activate a preem unless I missed you saying that, which I didn't. So the men will not have the same right. The men will not have that same preem that you saw with the women then. That obviously every race is different. Every race has its own storyline. And Leah Cuthbertson jumping early, getting over 1 minute, 9 second advantage. She did hold on to pick up that first $50 preem. But the men will have their preem announced, it looks like, later.
Well,
they still
Harvey
have the
Gelding's
preem.
Now, beast mode here from Norway, going off the front. It's going to be Hamlet there from Wahoo looking to cover. Niall Beatty's there as well. Zach Neer. We've called Zach Neer out in Innsbruck quite a few times. Great to see him jumping in with the fold out here today. And I believe he's going to be riding for the Speed Potatoes. Watch out for Neer. He's replacing, I think, Ruben Daunt this week out there today for those Speed Potatoes. We're going to have Jal, who's the Norwegian, they call him the Norwegian God over on YouTube. At least Josh Harris is, I believe. He went head-to-head in the ZRL on Tuesday with Harrison and a few others. I think Nair was in there. I saw Laverick in there with one of the top Europeans races in the ZRL. So they're jumping back out here today. Cover and kill, it looks like, from the Speed Potatoes. Up and over to the top, it looks like another move coming in. There are the Speed Potatoes. Nair, Zarsky, and Patterson, a couple of our picks out here today as well, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, you lose Daunt, but you get Nair. That's not too bad, actually. This team swept our podium on week 1 Prestige Series, so they're going to be obviously looking to put another great result up on the board, but there's some riders here that are really going to make that a challenge, especially on this course. Leg Snapper is a difference maker, no question. 4 times up that baby is going to be decisive. Is that Holden Camo? Yes, it is. Great to see Holden, one of the all-time American champions, racing with us.
Well, Najal and Gelding's now to the front, making things hard. 7 watts per kilogram coming already from Gelding's. Beast mode just continues to press. I'm loving what we're seeing here from these racers. Colsit sitting in, Jal not following as well at 7.3 watts per kilogram. Dave clicking 52 kilometers per hour. Now Teppo L'Oreal to the front. Great to see Teppo back in the action. I did see a few posts from him that he was putting in some big miles, getting back into shape. It's awesome to see Teppo L'Oreal throwing down again here in cycling esports.
Teppo was one of the first personalities that really stood out for me in the esports world. It is awesome to see him back. I'd say the same thing about James Barnes, Vidar Mel. We've got some of the OGs with us, but watch out for Sebastian Hevo today. Maybe not an OG, but definitely a danger man in our field. This is that point that Becca was talking about. It's no leg snapper. It's an interesting moment in the course here, kind of between the 2.5 and 3.5K in on lap 1 of 4 here on Innsbruckring. And another one of the gods, I would say, of esports racing, Harvard Gjeldnes on the front right now. Now riding for beast mode. I feel like that's a change, Nathan, since the last time I was checking in with Harvard.
Yeah, it's a good pickup for beast mode, that's for sure. Before we hit that first leg snapper, let's bring in Becca, actually. Becca, about this little uphill, we haven't talked too much about it, that 1 to 2%er. And it's a very different start here for the men's race. They're using that section. I have a feeling they're going to use that. Would you agree that they're going to use that section a little bit more, perhaps, throughout the racing to try and break things apart? It's super aggressive right now.
Yeah, I think the men are, as more aggressive racers generally, I think they'll use this as a second point on the course to really attack. Just because if you have a big pack, then the pack will roll fast on the downhill. If you can line it out and make it so there's a gap between your first rider and the pack, if there's no draft to use, then I think that the pack's going to not roll as fast. Like right now, they're all bunched up and it'll roll super fast, especially with the new draft dynamics that we haven't talked about. Updated last week in Zwift, so it's easier to stay with a group both on the downhill and on the uphill, actually. So if you don't have a gap, then you're not going to get one on the downhill. And it'll be easier to stay with a group the steeper the incline. So I think everybody's kind of testing the waters of those new draft dynamics as well, especially in that spot.
It's a great point, Dave. I think that this new pack dynamic does really change things up about how riders can snap the elastic, because once it snaps, because there is more roll through, there is more ability to hold that draft, you can find a little bit more to work with. But it's kind of a two-edged sword, isn't it? Because it's harder to snap that elastic. So you might get more speed if you can snap it, but at the same time, it's going to be a lot harder to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, it really one of those things like committing to the rut in cyclocross racing. If you're going to do it, go all in on it. You're not going to halfway things out here. Well, this is a man that's all in, that's for sure. Vidar Mel, as they make their way towards the leg snapper here. Looked like things were blowing up in the women's race as well a little bit. Gabby Guerra holding on to her lead. But on the women's side of things, I have a feeling the racing is really hotting up, and that selection that happens is going to tell us a lot there. But Vidar Mel now with the arch in sight, he's going to put some riders in trouble this trip up, I would think.
Yeah, Vidar getting caught right at the top here. He's going to kick just a little bit. Who's going to take it up over the top of the leg snapper? It is going to be Drycat here from FPC, the Foudre. I believe that, is that Foudre team that's going to be? Yep, it is. But no, he's going to fade just a little bit. Now, there's no prizes at the top of this one. It's just how much you can make it hurt, as it's going to be Molnar, actually, that's going to be the rider that really takes it up and over the top for restart. Tepo Lorio sitting in that second place. Ryan Sample, great to see Sample, the American, making his debut. This is quite the ride from him, making it at the front of some premier racing. I absolutely love it. Dummer's there as well from Wahoo Esports. And Zhao now sitting in about second or third wheel, close sit there. The in real life pro jersey hanging on his back, as you can see. Drycut up over the top here. Foudre, the speeds are getting high. Has there been a split? A couple of riders are off the back. It doesn't look like James Barnes, our man, was able to make this here, as there's the samples numbers. 900 watts for 15 seconds is what he can throw down. His 1 minute up in that 578. Level 100 out on Zwift is 20 minute 3:14. Oh, and it's going to be JP Leclerc suffering off the back. Tough one to see there for Leclerc. Hopefully he can find his way back. Oh, no. Is that Leclerc on the front? Excuse me. Sorry. I missed. Yeah. That's my bad. I thought that Leclerc, okay. The only reason I said that is because this is a rider I did not expect to be off the front. What a move from JP Leclerc. Great to see it from him.
And here comes Drycott up and over the top. But yes, the indoor specialist making his mark here early. And there's Johan Noren. These are some big names. Holden Camo up there showing some good form after that first trip up the leg snapper. Rider I've got my eye on is Yunsai Honda. Of course, that suits him incredibly well out here today. And he's keeping his powder dry at this point.
I love what these guys are doing. Ed Laverick looking to come across here, 10 watts per kilogram. Everybody can kind of smell blood in the water, it seems like to me. They want to get a break going. They do not want this to be a sprinter's course. They want it to make it as difficult as they possibly can, as Laverick looks to come across. 8 watts per kilogram from him. They've already got 2 seconds. We do see it's going to be Sersky here, 9.3. Harila as well, looking to come across 2 seconds now. Havo is there just behind, closing things down. It's going to be Harila there from RWB. In that no man's land is Nilsson, one of your picks, Dave, looking to come across.
Wow, and he's coming across like a rocket ship right now. This is starting to look like a potential split. If these guys back in the back half of the peloton don't really activate, and they are, Iker Morel is one of the riders coming across. There's really the whole Wahoo team saving themselves in this moment. It looks like we will hit the reset button. What an incredibly active first lap we've got out here. Still not quite back together. Vidar Mel on the right side of that split, and he's going up and over the top. Yeah, these are some huge names. And notice that every one of these riders is Scandinavian that we're looking up at the front of this race right now. Until you get to the pole, Pavel Siersky, who is definitely one of our danger men in this field. There's Josh Power coming good. Watch out for Power today. Excuse me, that's a different Power, isn't it?
I don't think that there is another Power. That is Josh Power. You got that. That's 100% right. Najal now that looks like countering this. And this is a great time to counter, actually, because everybody, you got a couple of those kicks. You could burn a couple a match here, a match there. And those who have sat in and really used the pack at this point, they're going to be the ones that can go with an attack like this from Najal. And he likes to make things so incredibly difficult. Colsit looking to come across. Now Beatty now as well. Look at this. It's going to be Harvard Geraldines, Christoph Flebus, as well as who's all on that beast mode? It's also going to be Colsit, I believe, riding in for them as well. Vidar Mero, though, there as well, it looks like. Now, back in with the ladies, though, as Mika Soderstrom on the move, countering Elise Gallegos. Becca Nielsen had her eyes on that. Becca, you want to walk us through what was happening off camera for a little bit there?
After the snapper, we had Elise go off the front and try and get 2 or 3 seconds off the front and really force the pack to do a little work to catch her, and then Mika rolled through and took the lead. So I do think that there is some team tactics playing out here that are pretty interesting now that we're in our last lap, last 9 kilometers. I think everyone has let Gabby go, which is probably a smart decision. But we've seen Swedish Zwifters be super conservative on this race. Rarely did we even mention them being off the front at all. But if you look at the pack, they've actually still got 4 riders in that pack. So they've played it super smart. And I think Wahoo just realized they need to do a little bit more work if they want to beat them in the points this week. So I think that's why Soderstrom's doing her thing off the front.
So
It's
Nathan,
a great
with this
tactic
being
here by
points-based,
Wahoo, Dave.
Yeah, it is. It's perfect, to tell you the truth. It's the best you can do in the situation, and that's really in racing what you need to constantly be analyzing. If Soderstrom can hold on for second place here, and we're about, let's call it 7K from the finish at this point. They're out on the last lap now for the women. So the response coming from the other Swedes. Now, even though Mika Soderstrom is the Swedish national champion, she's riding for Wahoo Lacole. These women are riding for the Swedish team. So same nation, different squad. And Soderstrom now, it's really the beast mode team that I'm the most curious about. And there they are. They're the ladies that are going to be backing up the points. So the effort that Gabby has made, she's going to need her teammates to come through and get some points out of this group if they want to climb on the overall table. This is the second prestige race that we've had. Here comes Lucy Harris right on cue, actually. So this moves the advantage back to beast mode. It's just body blow after body blow being thrown out here now, Nathan, because Soderstrom, if Harris gets up on her wheel, all of this work is for naught, and a huge advantage goes back into the beast mode court. And it has.
Oh, this is so interesting here, actually, Dave. Beast mode makes the catch. Does she just go right over the top? She just continues on.
Yes,
Soderstrom now going to close the gap there. Gallegos and Soderstrom now looking to try and shut this down. Van Houweling positioned herself perfectly because Restart wants to make something happen. I was just getting a few messages actually from Alex Cole saying how much he absolutely loves to watch the ladies race for that team. And now they are trying to set themselves up perfectly. Tiffany Penner got back involved here as well. Great to see Penner. Watch out for her if she's able to make something for the field sprint here now as it's all shut down and beast mode's going to, I think, go quiet again. No more work. We saw Lucy Harris kick herself a little bit in that sprint last week, 2 weeks ago, excuse me. So will she be able to try and take down Gallegos? And what is going to be the situation here for Wahoo? Also, do you just trust it all the way to the line with this slower pace? Going to be interesting one here now. Now, in the men's side of things, let's go if we can get a 2-up screen because Ed Laverick was going absolutely bonkers off the front, full Ed mode, looking to try and take down that the preem at the top of the leg snapper that's coming up. It's going to be $50 for first, and then we've got a couple of product gift cards actually coming in from Precision Fuel for that second and third. But it looks like it's going to be Harvey Geraldines again with Sierski on his wheel. Najal can see that this is the danger moment. It's going to be Jeffrey Merlor, Johan Noren, Ed Laverick just barely hanging on. This is full gas racing, Dave.
Oh my, this is an exceptional group that we're looking at on screen right now. And again, they do have a preem. It's a 3-deep preem that they're coming up on quickly. There is superstar Ed Laverick tucked into this group. This is going to be fantastic as we make our way into the middle part of the race for the men. And Laverick is attacking with old school fury. Kolset, great ride by the Norwegian here to try to get up onto Laverick's wheel here. Oh, this is going to be really fun to watch, Nathan.
Look at how it's strung out.
Doing
totally
here?
Strung out. I mean, this is insane. Well, speed potatoes are right there. We've got Sierski. We've got, it looks like.
Where's Nair?
Who else?
Looking for Zach Nair right now, a little bit further back, it looks like. So speed potatoes are not dominating quite like they were on week 1. I will say that.
Well, there is a split in the group, too. There has been a split in the group, but it keeps on just barely coming together. Right in the middle, as you can see there, right in the middle of that pack, it just came back together. But there was a couple of meters there where somebody had let the wheel go. But it looks like at this point, Gelding's brought back in, and now everybody looked at each other. And I have a feeling a few of those riders burned some big match books just a moment ago to try and go for the early move on the leg snapper to get that preem. And here goes Inglis, RWB, looking for $50 at the top of the leg snapper, but gets shut down by Laverick right on that wheel.
Yeah, well, Ed Laverick should be in pretty good shape to pick up that 50. One of the most popular riders in the history of esports is I love seeing the RWB Riders Without Borders team up on the front. Nathan, this is an insanely aggressive opener that these men have put together here. You don't race this course any harder or more aggressively than they have.
Laverick's all in. He's all in. They sat up. Now Beatty, now is he chasing? No, they shut it down. They shut it down. Now Beatty went to the front and shut it down to 3.4. Will they get enough time? It's going to be Inglis versus Laverick over the top, but they are going to have 11 watts per kilogram over the top of this thing. They need to reserve just a little bit to kick in the orange because 4 seconds can get shut down like in a snap of the fingers here, Dave. Will they hold on?
I don't know if you do on Ian Inglis and Ed Laverick, though. The amount of talent that we've got off the front of this bike race is monumental. This preem is going to be exactly what we were looking for here. So the precision preem coming up. These two with a little bit of a gap as we hit the leg snapper. This is Ed Laverick's wheelhouse.
Laverick kicks 10 watts per kilogram. Here comes Sierski at 13, 14 watts per kilogram behind. This is insane. They're closing it down so quickly. Can he hold on to the top? I think Laverick's just going to do it, but Sierski 14, 5 seconds is the difference. Look at how quickly he's coming. He might do it. Sierski might make the catch. Laverick has to hold on. He's probably given everything he possibly does. Oh my gosh. Is he going to be caught at the line? No way. It's actually going to be Najal. Najal takes it over the top. Insane from the speed potatoes.
Even more important, speed potato alert, speed potato alert. They are now back in charge. Just let's see what happens now, because that preem is one thing, but this next 5K could be decisive for this race. Harvard Jeldness realizes that. He's up there for the beast mode team. There's going to be a lot of riders scrambling now to not let this get out of control, and let's see what happens. Sierski and Pedersen. The only thing we're missing is Daunt, and we're right back into week 1 here. So the speed potatoes are charging. Ed Laverick is going to try to respond, and beast mode has got a lot. Let's go back and take a look at a replay here. I thought Laverick would have this.
I thought he had it too. Well, like that, but the speed, 43 kilometers per hour, Dave. 43 up and over the top of that leg snapper. Insane.
Leg snapper. They're accelerating. I'm surprised they didn't lift off and start orbiting Earth with that kind of effort. That's insane. And this is going to be a major problem here for the rest of our field, as Speed Potatoes putting on another clinic now, as they are simpatico. These are teammates right now. And again, 2/3 of a podium from week 1. Let's see the gap, though. Not that large.
We're gonna,
so it's caught.
Yeah,
That's
they can see. Yeah, they can see that they can shut. This can be a lot harder this week. Way harder this week to try and get away on a course like this. It is going to be the finish up for the ladies' race. A solid, almost 3-minute gap. Gabriela Guerra bringing it home right now within the final few 100. I think she's about 500 meters to the line here at this point. So solid job from her. This is the main pack with a couple of attacks throwing down. Lucy Harris now on the attack, but here's Gara now making it to the line. 300 meters, made the attack, lap one. No one held on. Dave, proving why she is a silver medalist out here 2 times in cycling esports.
And that gap, Nathan, went out to basically 3 minutes. And it was turned into a training ride for Gabby Gara. You are looking at a world-class athlete, ladies and gentlemen. Gabby Gara taking the win here in week 2 of Prestige Series.
And
that's what you
back
call
in with the ladies with the attacks that are going down. Yeah, totally dominant. Absolutely taking it down. Quick shout out. Gabby did let us know prior to the race, her winnings will go to entries for women. Just as a heads up, everybody. So we will get announcements about how we will raffle those off or do something as far as that goes. But we want to see more women racing here at Lead Out. And since it's going back into someone who's related to Lead Out, we want that to go back into the women's field. Entry fees. Yep, it's going 2 entry fees, 2 women who want to race. And we will let you know about how we will raffle those off or do those as a winnings. Probably some sort of social media thing going on. But yeah,
super cool. This isn't
watch out
the first
for that, everyone.
Well, that's really cool, Nathan. This isn't the first time that racers have paid entry fees to race in esports, but what we're doing here is a brand new model. It's a very economical entry fee. I believe it's in the $10 to $15 range. So it's not a lot of money, but you really get what you pay for because that money goes back to help verify the performances, create this broadcast around the racing. And when you pay for things, you value them more. And that's what's happening with all of these riders. So that's cool that Gabby looks like she'll get 4 or 5 women into the race next week with her race winnings from today.
100%.
That's really cool.
Great effort by her out there today. Now we're coming into the sprint. Dave, very similar to what we saw last time. Lucy Harris, taking the front, watching the moves. Will Gallegos repeat the sprint here to the line? Harris was just caught. She went super early. Remember what we saw last time, though? It wasn't a large group. It wasn't as large of a group, and Harris went first, and then got caught at the line. Has she learned a little bit of something here? It's going to be interesting. Or does she get the jump? Because if they let it come right down to the moment, it might be the same exact situation.
So this is where Mika Soderstrom goes to work. No question, as you see her up and out of the saddle at this point. It's going to be a really interesting finish. It's going to be a numbers game as well. Wahoo Lecole is going to try to hold on to their lead in the Prestige Series. It's a great opportunity. Now you're talking about Lucy Harris, and there you go. Restart's going to attack with Randy Gino. So Gino's going to hit out first. That's going to be the first play for second place. So here we go. The sprint has engaged, and Randy Gino with Elise Gallegos coming up on her wheel quickly. All right, Nathan, here we go. It looks like Wahoo Lecole.
Yeah, it looks like Gallegos not going to be able to be stopped here today as she makes the kick up and over the top. Elise Gallegos showing she's one of the best sprinters in esports right now. That is a new role in some ways for Gallegos. She has really come around from the triathlete who feels like more of your threshold steady rider into one of the best sprinters in esports out there today.
Yeah, you just don't see world-class triathletes become sprinters that often. She's done so much work. I'm sure Alex Coe is extremely proud of his athlete there. Great job by Elise Gallegos. This is a look at that finish, remembering this is the sprint for second. And Gallegos is going to close out this deal. Hermanson was really unable to take advantage of being in that slipstream, and behind her, you see a real battle for these top 5 spots. So we'll start sorting things out, taking a look at those results and let you know where things stand. That was quite a finish, no doubt about it. Back in with the men. Is they're already through the halfway point of this race, and there's Zach Neer right on cue. Another one of the speed potatoes that we've been highlighting here. On the men's side of things, they've been the dominant team, or squad, I should say.
And I want to, we are going to call out this lap. This lap is going to be the Spincast Sprint for this lap on the sprint banner, the Innsbruck sprint banner, lap 3, not at the leg snapper, everybody. The sprint banner is where we will be having it on this lap number 3. So be on the watch out for that. Up and over the top of the leg snapper. Will somebody get a break, or will it come back together? And I have a feeling we're going to have a little bit more of a pack sprint for this one rather than what we saw with Leah Cuthbertson. What a move by Leah to walk away on that first one. But this is a different story, isn't it? There's going to be some fatigue in the legs, Dave.
There is, and I'm wondering, the way the tactics play out, you very well could be right, but you also, Nathan, could be completely wrong as far as what happens on leg snapper is going to tell us so much about what's going on at that sprint. It really is a fantastic course for all of these dynamics. And here we go. Another attack going clear. The Australian Downey.
Oh, and that's going to be Downey. I love it. This is awesome to see.
Names.
Not a rider who's necessarily been at the front end of the elite end of racing in cycling esports. Andrew Downey showing that he's got the moves to make here. Now 4.4, 4.8. Najal here, this is one of those situations where it's not red numbers, it's not 6, it's not 7, and maybe you start trusting a little too much that this is going to not go anywhere, and you can kind of just sneak away a few seconds. And then if somebody who's really strong, really strong, like Najal or something, jumps across to Downey, he finds himself in a situation where he's working with some riders that have that kind of power to hang with. That would be quite the situation for him. I mean, I love these kind of moves.
I mean, the fact, Nathan, that they're going over 20 miles per hour when they go over the top of leg snapper, to me, shows we're at a level that I could have never imagined racing out here. Ed Laverick doesn't hold on and win on the leg snapper tells me the depth of this field is tremendous.
100%.
But what you were
Downey
saying
here now, Dave, 4.8 steady. Yeah, and Becca, I want to bring in Becca here. She actually let us know this is a rider who's got more of a pure watt situation too, isn't he?
Yeah, I always think it's interesting when you're looking at somebody's watts per kilo, which is maybe reflective of their speed, but when you look at their size, once Andrew gets away, he's able to maintain it at a lower watts per kilo than somebody else. Like if a very light rider pushes off the front on the flats, they're going to have to do a higher watt per kilo in order to maintain that speed. Andrew's able to sit a little lower and maintain a gap. So I always think that this is a dangerous type of rider to let get away on a flat course. His 1 minute power is not incredible, but he's got a 10-second gap. So if he can maintain 600 watts up that climb, it's hard for most of the field to catch him.
Downey not on a squad, Nathan, or is he?
I think he's on a restart squad. I'm pretty sure he's on a restart squad because he's in.
Okay.
Yeah,
that really makes a difference.
Kit. And I want to iterate one more time. There is spin cast sprint this lap. So over the top of the leg snapper and into the Innsbruck sprint. He may be able to hold on to this. DS is out there. Team members out there. Let your teams know that's on the line. And it looks like Downey might be collecting $50 from the spin cast.
You could see his teammate Jaden Yeager was getting up onto the wheel of Njal Pedersen there as Njal looked like he was starting to activate his lace rate heroic mode. But this right now, Andrew Downey, the Australian, has he done enough? What we learned, though, I mean, even with 6-8 seconds at the bottom of leg snapper, that might not be enough to hold on. Here goes Ian Inglis again, the rider without borders rider. He's had a great ride today.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be so close, I think, Dave, because we saw 5 seconds get thrown down quickly, right? Very quickly. Now, are we going to see another situation? Now, there was $50 at the top, right? And so Najal and Sersky were going all in, I think, for that specifically. I think that's why we saw 14 watts per kilogram. I think a lot of matches were burned that last time. We're only seeing 10 only in quotes here. That may give Downey what he needs to stay away at this point. But look how close they're getting at this point now. The speed is so incredibly high, but here comes Downey over the top. He's got that 12 seconds. It's good. Be tough to hold on. He's got to get some speed over the top. Dry cut now, holding on, it looks like here. Geraldine's coming on through as well. 10 seconds still. But can he keep the speed? That's going to be the question.
All right, and it's about another minute and a half that he's going to have to hold these monsters off out here as the charge to the Preem is underway. That's Australian Andrew Downey digging in. I still think he's got it, Nathan.
I love this. I absolutely love how close this is.
Yeah.
I know. They've given us such a show, haven't they, Dave? They've really given us the nail biter as Najal comes back to the front again. 8 seconds. It's coming down little by little. He needs some more speed here.
And here comes some more speed over the top.
I don't know. I think he's going to get caught unless he's really saved something here. Here comes Geraldine's 9 watts per kilogram. Geraldine's got just a few seconds. He wants that Preem.
Oh, come on, Andrew. I'm pulling for Downey, the Australian here. Oh, he has got to be absolutely at his limit at this point. Is Harvard Jonas and a really experienced stone-cold killer here out of Norway trying to bring it back. There's Andrew Downey. Downey's just hovering above 4 watts per kilo here. Now he's given a little bit more stick. I think Andrew Downey's got enough in reserve to hold off these guys. It's going to be close. This is a great race within the race. That's what these Preems are all about. But Harvard now, he's got the prey in sight. Uh-oh.
But Najal kicks 12 watts per kilogram. Here comes Najal. Najal Pedersen, he's going to make it happen. I think. Oh my gosh, 2 seconds. And Najal's looking to scrape it.
Two dogs fighting for a bone, and the third one took it. Yep, there you go.
Oh, the Norwegian is God, as Josh Harris has called him. What is this? And now Geraldine sees that this is a danger moment for everybody else. So does Johan Noren. They can see that over the top of this Preem as the spin cast Preem gets taken down by Najal Pedersen. They looked to maybe make a break out of it.
Here comes Noren and Laverick. Boy, that spin cast Preem, though, did exactly what we hoped it would. It just threw this race into absolute disarray. And here comes Zach Nair, the pride of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So Laverick, Nair, Johan Loren, Njal Pedersen, and Harvard Jonas. That's your front group of 5. Well, Jonas just off at the front of that 4-rider group here as Vidar Mel joining now. So another Norwegian getting mixed in. There is last 2 weeks ago on the podium, Pavel Sierski. Okay, the group sort of resorting itself right now, Nathan, in front of our eyes. A bit of a, not really a reset, but a small regrouping happening here as we're getting ready. We're not that far off from starting the last Ronde, the final lap here on Innsbruckring. Our men getting down to it with Johan Noren of the Swedish Swifting team moving up onto the front. The Speed Potatoes have shown some signs of brilliance, but haven't quite been the dominant team. And Nathan, as you said earlier, probably it's something to do with the depth of the field that we have being a little bit deeper, a little bit stronger here in week 2 of the Prestige Series. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we've actually increased our participation. Love to see. We lost a few big hitters, but overall, it's really great to see that, you know, some people were busy this week or whatever it might have been and couldn't make the race, but still increased our numbers even after losing a few riders, just to life getting in the way or something. So it's absolutely great to see all the new riders. Now, Colsit here, this is a rider to watch out for. He has really been making his debut in this new 2025 season. He's been a name that's suddenly been popping up on the SRC, now in Prestige as well. I absolutely love to see Colsit, and now Laverick, he knows he's a danger man. Looks to jump across now at this point. Now, Laverick, last lap. We're going to ring that bell here, and Ed Laverick says, we do not want to sprint. Beast mode covering it real quickly here, and if there's a duel that can go up the road, Laverick and Phlebas, that is it.
Yeah, could not argue that. The bell is ringing here at the finish line as they're on to the last lap now. So here we go, 1 to go. Zach Nair having a great ride. You know, losing Ruben Daunt has a huge impact on any squad, but Zach Nair has stepped up today to fill that spot. There's a good look at the Norwegian, Magnus Coulson. That pretty cool kit that he gets to race in real life, part of the Uno X program. Not many riders at his level, Nathan, do esports at this point. It's extremely cool to see him out here.
Yeah, I absolutely love to see the program he takes on in the winters. Now, Kulsick continues on. He keeps on rubber banding this, I would call it, or making it so that he tries to sling over and over again with a little bit of speed. Very intelligent the way that he's riding this. I love it. Laverick looks the covered. It looks like Nair's right there as well. I want to bring in, Becca, let's chat. If we head into this final lap, what are riders up to and why? What riders are thinking about a sprint, what riders are thinking about, I need to make this snap now, and how are those tactics playing out in front of us?
I think at this point, after 3 laps, everyone's a little afraid of the speed potatoes. Nijal's speed up that leg snapper was just a little ridiculous. So I think everyone's going to try as a team tactic to split this field. This field is still half of the field is in this main pack. And you see solo actors like Iker, who was one of my picks in there, who's just going to try to surf wheels and cause chaos if he can at the end. And you see Restart, Swedish Zwifters playing it pretty conservatively. Speed potatoes are just dangerously potatoing. I don't know what the verb of that would be, but I think everybody's kind of trying to see what they can do to try to pull the line a little bit. That's probably what Laverick's doing, Colset as well, to try to get it so it's not a situation where they're going to get destroyed by the speed potatoes in the sprint. So I think that's probably what they're thinking, at least.
I absolutely love that. Watch out for the speed potatoes. It's a great assessment out here. Things
they're
here, Dave, though, also, they're potatoing. Yeah, they're potatoing.
Yeah.
That is one of the best. We're going to need that one for
I can't believe potatoes
of the
become a
eternity of
verb.
esports.
Yeah, it works
I love
for me.
it. It's so good. It's so good. Now, here's the thing, Dave. There's a lot of firepower in here, and some of the bigger hitters when it comes to a sprint haven't really hit the front. They've had to hang on. But you don't want to come to the line with this entire group. That's a huge risk, right? Especially with the kind of power you've already thrown down with Sierski and Nijal. They want this to break. And Jeffrey and Lore now looking to jump across as well. They know that it is a huge dice roll to come to the line still in this race. So I have a feeling we're going to see attacks nonstop the rest of this lap. The men are making this race insane right now.
Without a doubt. I have a feeling that, speaking of the potatoes, that the top potato for me is Njal Pedersen today. He's going to be a really tough rider to beat on this course, Nathan, without a doubt. I think the odds are better than 50% that your winner is Norwegian out here today.
Well, I mean, look at what he pulled off here, Dave.
Look at this.
He came from way back.
And
I thought that Downey or Yeldins had this, but I mean, there's nobody in the frame.
Yeah, have at it. That's a world-class performance we're witnessing from both Gabby Guerra and Njal Pedersen out here today. And again, the challenge is there. If you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. And that is clearly right in front of us. There's Pavel Sierski, who's one of the riders that certainly would be in that conversation. Johan Noren, Harvard Jelness, and there's the man right on cue, Njal. Thank you. Back to the front.
Rolling over the top. They have a break.
Your winner's on your screen
situation
right now. Nathan, I will guarantee you. One of these riders that we're looking at.
And I don't even know that they can respond. Dry cut from Foudre is at 184 beats per minute in the gap. Laverick is sitting on the wheel of the Foudre rider. They're trying to bring it back at this point, but there is a gap. Look at this, right there it is. So, and they're doing everything they can. Dry cut is up at 186 beats per minute. I mean, this is make it or break it. It's 3 seconds back to the pack at this point. Jaden Jager is back there. We're seeing Otterley as well as Vanderster. This is game over, it looks like. Laverick dropped. There are, what is it going to be? I think 7 off the front who have made the front group, and they have all the motivation to work.
I think Ed's going to come back, Nathan, but this is incredible. I cannot believe that we're seeing this. Nick Dreycott now having trouble holding onto that wheel of Ed Laverick. Laverick realized that Dreycott was not going to be saving him and getting him back up to that front group, and I think he's going to soldier on his own. These guys probably cannot believe the level that we are seeing here in this Prestige Series. This is absolutely bananas what's going on. So obviously, Johan Noren has brought some incredible form. That's who we've got on screen right now. But I mean, Nathan, some of the sprinters that we talked about earlier in the race were just unable to match the pace that we've seen at the front of this race. It has been ballistic. all down on the Innsbruckring. And it's because of riders like Johan that have just blown this thing to bits. But Njal Pedersen, Johan Noren, Harvard Jelnis, it's a Scandinavian playing field.
Noren now sitting up a little bit, I think, because I think he knows what's about to happen because they're about to hit the leg snapper. Ed Laverick just got back on terms. It's 3 seconds back. Noren has a little bit of work with here, but he's going to have to take some speed in this. Phlebas on the front now. Now it's going to be Milor. This is the last time up the leg snapper before the finish. Will anybody walk away from this? Paul Sersky is wanting to go. I have a feeling Sersky is going to throw everything he can, but he's going to be covered by Najal. Here we go. Noren on the front.
It's going to be a sonic boom, and that is happening right now. So here we go. That's going to be Johan Noren, the Swede, making a serious impact on this race. Behind him, though, the explosion has happened. Here comes Pedersen. The numbers are phenomenal out here right now. Hamlet, Siersky, Jeffrey Malure, Nick Dreycott is back. Dreycott, the Belgian, was back into the mix as he's now dropping Ed Laverick, but back to the very front. The catch has been made, and here comes, it's Phlebas. Holy cow. Beast modes. Phlebas is going to be the first up and over the top, but we've still got to gallop as watch out for the counterattack now.
What is going on? Dreycott comes back. Bernard Mail comes back. Zach Neer comes back. That group that sat and waited got pulled back into the bottom, and now Hamlet from Wahoo finds himself in the front. The catch is made. Dave, they put in massive work. The Speed Potatoes trying to make the break happen. Now they find Zach Neer, the leader of their squad here, out in and amongst it again. 3 Speed Potatoes potatoing along in this group, but they've been caught by a lot who have been sitting. Now we've got that dreaded situation, Dave, a group sprint, but we've got still a few kilometers to work with for some last second attacks.
Well, this is incredible. I have to think that there's one more play made by the Potatoes before we get into a final group sprint. I cannot believe the size of the field that we've got together at this point. And we're rapidly coming up on 3K to go here. So this is it. This is the business end and Innsbruckring. I'm just trying to get a feel for who's left now in this group.
Ika Morale is still here, Dave. He is still here. And I don't know that he's made a lot. And here's the thing. There are riders that have sat, that have played it. Great call. That actually Honda was one I was looking at beforehand. He's got big watts per kilogram, hasn't really stuck his nose in the wind. It's going to be all about those riders, isn't it, Dave, that haven't put a whole lot of work out there.
Absolutely, Nathan. You nailed it. We haven't heard Yonsai's name. I think I mentioned him at the top of the broadcast, and that was it. He's absolutely a guy that could win this race outright here today, but not with this race scenario, as it is on like Donkey Kong out here in Austria today. Ed Laverick was able to fight his way back. Paul Hamlet's been a part of the conversation. But how about this? Phlebas in full effect.
Nobody's going to want to do the work. The squad situation is starting to come into play here because Kulsit's just sitting, not doing anything to chase this down, it looks like here at this point. 7 watts per kilogram here coming from Najal. Najal knows the Speed Potatoes know they can't let this go. Jumps again because here's the thing. They don't want to drag everybody with them, though. They can see that if they continue to put, exactly. So now at this point, they let it go a little bit and then try and jump across, but they jump right back on it as Laverick's got 3 seconds to work with here, but he's got a group with him. And at this point, Dave, you start thinking, do I want to work for 5 other guys? Are they going to make it happen here? Hamlet sits on, Noren on the front. This is such great racing. I haven't seen racing like this in years on Zwift. They are making this final lap one of the best we've ever seen.
And they're starting to hedge their bets up in the front as Johan Noren has hit out. This, you're absolutely right, Nathan. Incredible racing. Jeffrey Malure and Ed Laverick are now going to try to latch on to Johan Noren. They're going to run out of real estate really, really quickly here. Phlebas is back. Hamlet is back. These guys are playing a dangerous game up in this front group, though. They're a very, very high burn rate as that group behind them has still got something to give. Ed Laverick going up and over the top. Phlebas is going to try to match him now. Here we go. Enter the Thunderdome.
Kan, another rider who's just been doing absolutely nothing. He jumps across 12 watts per kilogram. He's in that pack behind. Kan now shuts it down. He gets the gap on everybody else. He goes across. Zach Neer, he's now playing the lead-out man for the Speed Potatoes. Up into 9 watts per kilogram coming from Zach Neer as Kan gets back on. The launch was made, but look at this. Hamlet can see that they're coming, so he says forget it, and Hamlet goes at the front. 10 watts per kilogram from Hamlet as we come into the last 500 meters.
Unbelievable that they got the better, is certainly turning the tables on the speed potatoes out here. And right now, Wahoo Cole rider, that's an incredible ride from Paul Hamblett here, but Jeffrey Malure has put himself into the driver's seat, and you can see the meters ticking by incredibly quickly. There's the finishing arch, and there it is. There's the jump from Pete Armel.
Vidar with the big jump, gets the jump on Malure. Is he going to be able to hold on? He tries to get the jump on Malure. Malure, though, he may have timed it just perfectly. Jeffrey Malure.
Come on, Thomas.
Malure to the line. Nielsen. Thomas Nielsen. Malure, but it's going to be Jeffrey Malure. Malure takes it down. They upset the speed potatoes. It's Hexagon at the line. Nielsen for second. I think Vidar Mayer with that jump for beast mode just barely hangs on for third. What was that? Innsbruckring Prestige Season 1, race number 2. This was some amazing racing. What? Dave, I am speechless. That was insane.
Are you not entertained? I believe the Gladiator would tell you. And man, what a finale that was. How about Thomas Nielsen there, Nathan? Didn't call his name out once during the race, even into the finale, and he shows up at the moment it mattered, but ends up with second place. That was some great racing today.
That jump from Vidar was awesome. It was really, really well timed, actually. And so, you know, because I don't think he actually has the kick that Malure has, and he knew it. He knew he had to get the jump on everybody else. He went for that 10 to 12 watt per kilogram kick, but Malure 13 for a really long time holds on. Nielsen almost did it. Your pick there, Dave. It was really close, actually. Wow.
If that race is
so
20
exciting.
meters longer, Nielsen wins, but it was Jeffrey Malure who knew exactly where the finish line was. And he was up in that fray, Nathan. Malure, just really, his mind was locked in. He didn't take the bait a couple of times when I think a lot of riders would have jumped and shot their bullets. And he kept one silver bullet for the finale and killed the werewolf.
Getting so excited, we're tilting the cameras. We're getting so excited here. I think I smashed the table.
I shook my table.
Yeah, my table was completely shaken. Oh my goodness. That was good
problem
racing.
to
I think
have.
we got the women's results. It is a good problem to have. I think we got the women's results up and ready to go for how it played out today. Dave, you want to take us through these?
But it was the Gabriela Guerra show. She put on a clinic out here, and she knows how to do the work as well. 4.9 watts per kilo, ladies and gentlemen, over 50 minutes. That's world class on top of the table. Congratulations to the Brazilian, Gabby Guerra. It's Elise Gallegos taking second place today. Another really great story to follow if you like your esports. Elise has done the work too. Lisa Hermansson, the legend, up there for the bronze medal today. In fourth place will be another Swede, Anna Svardström. Sarah London, look at the Swedes here with 4 riders in the top 7, and Sarah London is another top 5 today for her. Another American legend, Liz Van Houweling for 6th place. Marlene Bjarrid in 7th. Randy Gino gets up there for 8th. Lucy Harris, teammate of Gabby Guerra, in 9th, and then Maria Marb, the German, rounding out our top 10. That is a world-class top 10 that we're looking at here.
Yeah, and just a reminder, results are provisional. We will have these up over on leadoutesports.com pretty soon, as soon as possible. The Preem, though, does go to Guerra up and over the top for that lap number 2. And then you can see that Leah Cuthbertson able to take the spin cast Preem on lap number 1. Shout out to Randy Gino. You know, great call out coming from Becca Neeson. Becca, you want to chat about this with us for just a second here? What's going on with that 3.3 watts per kilogram?
Yeah, I always like to look at the end of a race, if everybody's the same relative weight, you look at the watts per kilo and who's really got the high normalized power. So Randy was in that pack the entire time. We didn't talk about her. She didn't make any moves, really. She finished 8th because she went super early for the sprint, which I think was a lead out for Liz Van Houweling. But she had super low watts per kilo, and that means she just bided her time. She just did a really good job playing the field and being there at the end, which is pretty awesome. As opposed to, I mean, Elise Gallegos, amazing performance, but her watts per kilo, 3.9, as opposed to 3.3, somebody who finished right next to her. as well as the Swedish Swifters, who we didn't talk about them the whole race because they were being super conservative, but they had 3 riders in the top 7. So they played the game.
That's a great point, actually, Becca, that in those comparisons, I mean, Gino, obviously one of the most experienced. I've actually, if anybody didn't know, she does have her own Twitch channel. Randy Races Bikes over on Twitch. We definitely like to highlight anyone who's out there putting the content out. And she's one of the most popular on Twitch, actually, for all of her cycling esports. And you might be right that, you know, she made that early kick. She likes to make risks. We actually had a viral clip go of some risks she made in, I think it was the Zwift Racing League a couple weeks back, where she used a ghost power up and like was able to escape. I have a feeling she was kind of trying to go for like, maybe I'll get the escape situation here or get ahead of it, but at the same time be a lead out for Liz, as you were saying. The SZ situation, you were chatting a little bit about that in our in our text chat. What was going on with SZ?
I think that they were just playing the game. I think they let Wahoo and Beast Mode race against each other, and I think Restart was doing a little bit of the same. I think Restart and Swedish Swifters was a little like, you guys go play your game, and we'll just be here at the finish to roll in and get some high points. So I love that. I love the team aspect of it. So one thing I really like about this series is you don't know if someone's going for an individual win or a team win. And when you see teams like this playing it conservatively, and then like bagging points, you're like, oh, did they intend to do that? Oh, they absolutely intended to do that. So I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. Well, I do believe we have the men's results ready to go. Dave, some crazy racing from the get-go.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things I love about esports racing is it's not a zero-sum game, and it makes things much more complicated. The complexity of racing was outstanding today, and Jeffrey Malure cracked the code, the Frenchman taking the win. You can see, though, that very much unlike what we were just talking about there, is the power effort from these guys is all really super similar. Outside of Paul Hamblett here, who's sort of the Randy Gino of this group, I completely agree with what Becca was talking about there. That efficiency is always something that's really fun to watch. And look at Jeffrey Malure's number at 4.6 watts per kilo. He's lower than just about everybody else in the top 10 here. So efficient and getting it done when it matters. And you could say the same thing about Thomas Nilsson in for second place today, collecting a silver medal, and the Norwegian Vidar Mel for third and the bronze. In fourth place today was Zach Nair, fifth going to the German Christoph Liebes. He had a great impact in taking sixth. Paul Hamblett, seventh place today for the Wahoo Lacole man. Harvard Jelness and Njal Pedersen, the two of the three Norwegians in our top 10 here today. Ninth place for Njal Pedersen, proving he is human, and Con Kayan in 10th. So that's a really outstanding top 10. Great racing for the men and the women today.
Yeah, I want to definitely shout out Jeffrey Miller as well. Probably having a lot of smiles today. I do know he's been racing Cat 1 SRC. I raced with him actually this past weekend together on a team together. And he said afterwards, he's like, that course is not for me. I wish we had some flatter courses. And look what happens. He gets into a little bit flatter course with a little bit of punchiness. He does 4.6 watts per kilogram, almost the lowest. 4.5 from Hamlet there, but 4.6, sits in, waits for his timing, and kicks it and takes the win. What a job there done by Jeffrey Miller. Now, Njal Patterson and Sersky, what a battle over the top, though, of that leg snapper. Kicking it over, what'd you say, 20 miles per hour plus? I think they were doing 43 kilometers per hour over the top for that preem. Catch Laverick. Laverick takes third in the preem, as you can see there. And then Njal also taking the spin cast, coming from 8 seconds out, closes down like 200 meters in that final kick. I mean, Pedersen is also... who would you say, if you were going to give most aggressive, I mean, it's kind of between him and Geraldines, I feel like, out there today.
Absolutely. I probably would give it to Njal, to tell you the truth. And that could have been why he wasn't able to contest in the finale, is he burnt too many matches going for preems, which is exactly how racing should work.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's a good, I would think, review for the racing out here today in Prestige Season 1, race number 2. Let's take a quick look at the schedule that is coming up over the next month or so. This is December 4th, so we did Innsbruckring 4 times. It is Richmond UCI Worlds in 2 weeks on December 18th. Dave, we've casted that one many a times. I think Libby Hill, we've got Governor Street. I mean, there's a whole lot of action to be had out there as well, isn't there?
I've always loved racing there. It's interesting. I was noticing that Njal's hometown, Nathan, is Bergen, Norway, which is where the World Championships were held when they were in Norway, going back just after Richmond. So I bet you he'd like to see a Bergen Worlds course. But we're always loving being in Richmond. It's maybe not the most fun place to go ride on Zwift, but it's a great place to go race. That's for sure. So something to look forward to.
One of the best racing courses we have out there. And so really going to be a lot of fun. 2 weeks time. If you do want to race with us, you can do so. Go ahead, throw your squad together, jump on over to leadoutesports.com. Registration is still going to be open until 12 hours before the race on the 18th, obviously January 8th. Then we've got the London Loop for 3. And then there will be some stage races coming up in February. More announcements about that. Registration not open up for that just yet. But leadoutesports.com is where you can find that information and sign up for your racings. Well, everybody, that's going to be it from us today. That wraps up race number 2. I want to give a massive thank you to our partners that help make this happen: Verge Sport, Precision Fuel and Hydration, Alex Co-Coaching, and the production team at ZMS Esports Studio, and to the organizers at Restart, presented by Alex Co, for helping launch this new chapter in competitive cycling esports. Now, if you did race today or you want to get involved, remember, everybody, leadoutesports.com. Provisional results will be up soon. Future race entries, full schedules for the rest of the season, with more race series coming in the new year, where those will be presented very soon. So make sure to head on over to leadoutesports.com and subscribe to the newsletter to get information about all that. And you can follow us on all of our social medias. To all the racers out there, thank you so much for racing us, and thank you for all the shout outs on social. Be watching for those. You can follow us at Lead Out Esports over on Instagram, X, as well as Facebook, and you will be able to catch all that action as we are reposting it. That's it from us today. I'm Nathan Guerra, as well as Dave and Becca. Thanks to the other talent out here today, and we'll see you in 2 weeks time for race number 3, Prestige Season 1.